Just a quick thing. So the whole purpose of the town hall is to just kind of give us feedback about issues and concerns that you guys have. So if you don't feel comfortable maybe talking in a crowd, could you please take a note card and maybe write those out? We can read them out loud. Or if you want to take notes. So who needs a note card? Or just oh, oh. We're not going to have anyone write down these numbers. I need them to come in. All right. Okay. Hey guys. Hope everyone has had a wonderful spring break. Thank you for coming, senators and non-senators, for representing your student body. Before we get started, I do want to, for those who aren't senators, I do want to introduce our executive board. So my name is Divya Srinivasan. I am the Student Government Association president, and here is Vice President Preston Templeman. We have our treasurer over here, Radha Nabar, and then out there who was scanning cards is Devin Martin, our secretary, and unfortunately our parliamentarian, Savannah Seeley could not make it today. So kind of how this is going to go, like I stated previously, the whole purpose of this town hall is to kind of gauge issues and concerns you guys are having in our university, just to kind of give us feedback. As SGA, the whole purpose is to kind of help you solve those problems and make this university better for all of us. So definitely all your feedback is completely helpful, and definitely till next year we can figure those problems out and hopefully solve them. So kind of how this is going to work is that we're going to divide this into two categories. Our first category is going to be academic affairs, and our second category is going to be student affairs. So the first category, academic affairs, kind of encompasses things like, professors, advising, what else? Yeah, anything academic related, whether it's, not enough classes, not enough professors. And then student affairs is going to encompass anything that's not academic related. So residential life, food service, anything of that sort. I do want to preface, though, by stating we've already had several complaints about Wi-Fi and parking. So let's try to not bring those issues up. I will say that Wi-Fi is actually currently being fixed, and it will be fixed as of now and throughout the summer. They're kind of rerouting everything in the university. So hopefully starting next semester, it will be a lot better. And then as for parking, you guys know parking garage is being built at the moment in the STEM building. So hopefully that solves the issues as well. But other than that, I think that's it. You guys have anything to add? No? Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll start off with academic affairs first. So our treasurer, Radha Nabar, will be going around and passing around the mic. I guess just a quick household rule. Make sure you raise your hand. I don't want people kind of shouting out things. Again, this is not a Q&A. This is just for you guys to give us feedback. So we're not going to be able to answer any questions, but we do have our advisor, Joshua Neves, and Dr. Patterson at the back to advise us, be kind of a resource for any questions that you guys possibly may have. But yeah, that's it. So we can get this town hall started.
Great. So not questions, but what exactly, how do you want me to pose this, I guess? Like, you didn't want me to ask a question, right?
So yeah, so no questions, just kind of stating what the issue is, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't pertain to me currently. I just know that I hear about it a lot, but nursing is like the College of Nursing is the biggest college, if not the like one of the biggest or whatever have you. And there are only 2 advisors for everyone that goes through that process, which everyone does. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, mine kind of goes based off of the whole nursing, because as a nursing major, there's 4 levels and there's probably about like 150 students within each level, but we have 1 computer lab within our whole entire college, and all 4 levels are supposed to get exams and all their finals done within all of these weeks or whatever with 1 computer lab. So like I know like last semester I took a final at 7:30 in the morning on dead day because we didn't have enough space for all of our levels to be. And I know there's like 4 or 5 classrooms within the downstairs, and we use maybe 1 or 2. So kind of like bringing in that, I don't know. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I personally think the computer lab issue is like kind of the same across all majors, because I know in the business school we also don't have a lot of computer lab space. I know in the campus-wide computer lab in the business building, like there's only a few computers in there that have like our accounting software on it, and if people are on those computers, we don't have anywhere else to really use that software. So I guess that's kind of a big problem across the university, it seems like.
Kind of also on the same line of technology, we kind of need to upgrade our technology. So,
Okay.
Hey CJ, could you be a little bit more specific? Exactly what parts of that technology are you wanting
I'm talking
specifically?
like better computers, faster technology, faster the PowerPoints, or not the PowerPoints, but the what's that? Yeah, and all that.
So a little bit update the computers and the software for them.
Yes.
I think engineers, technology students, and everyone needs some better access to 3D printers and creative manufacturing technology. I think it'd really help us get ahead. A lot of other schools are doing it. A lot of high schools are doing it. A lot of middle schools are doing it, and we aren't. So let's get.
I'm sorry. Could you speak up? I'm sorry.
We aren't at the level that many middle schools and high schools are at. So if they come here from where they were, it'll almost be like a step down in their technology, creative capabilities. And I don't like, knowing that about my school, being an engineer, caring about my engineering program. I think we should do a little better.
Okay. Thank you.
Right now for the business majors, there's only 1 capstone class. There's not individual capstone classes for each individual major. Like I'm an accounting major right now, and I'm taking a management capstone class, and it's not relevant to my coursework. And if we could like come up with an actual individual like capstone classes for all different majors, I think it'd be really relevant.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and I'm an accounting major as well, and I've not been looking forward to that in my degree plan. Heard nothing but great things about being in a management capstone. So.
Once a student gets into the higher level classes, there are less help in the SIs for students, and I would think that we need to fix that, because there are students who struggle in the upper level courses that really need help. So.
I actually think they're working on that at the moment, but I don't know how specific the classes are, but that's definitely something we can look into. we have any other questions? Or
I've
feedback?
also brought this up before. Whenever President Tidwell came in, I would like to see an elective offered for business majors, kind of like that's all encompassing on how to use business software such as like PeopleSoft, SAP, which we're starting to get better about that. We touch on it in some of our marketing and different classes like that. But I would like to see an actual elective that would specifically focus on that so we would be ready to go out into the job market and we can actually say we're proficient in using the software. Because I mean, I would take it. So I don't know. That's just something to think about, I guess.
Okay. So what about maybe classroom infrastructure? Are there enough desks? Are there enough, not even infrastructure-wise, but enough like professors or advising-wise? Is there anything you feel like is an issue? Do you feel like you're able to get to your advisor on time or?
About the advisors, honestly, I've had so many issues with past advisors, starting with my freshman year. I was a CAP advisor, or when I was a student at my CAP advisor. I think the problem is that they don't take enough time to kind of look through your entire plan, yet they schedule you on the site for like that semester, but they don't think long term. And I've had several issues where a class that I was supposed to take in the spring actually isn't offered in the spring. And they say right before graduation, oh, we didn't know about that last semester. So it kind of puts students in a tough situation. So I think that's something that they need to improve on.
Okay, thank you.
We just need more left-handed desk. It's really uncomfortable.
Could you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Left-handed desk.
Do we have any left-handed desks actually? Really? Okay.
I'm just going to tack on to what he said earlier about the engineering and technology courses and whatnot. I don't know about his classes in particular, but I know in the industrial tech side, our classes are anywhere between 35 and 42 students in a lab at once, and we do not have the room. Maybe some more professors, teachers to thin out some of these classes because it's getting pretty bad.
Going back to the desk issue, I know we have a lot of spaces in the old business or what will be the older business building. They're pretty outdated. I'm looking forward to when they go to the new building, and hopefully that'll upgrade a lot. And I just know like it's almost impossible to do accounting homework when you have just pretty much like one of those fold over, like almost like a TV tray, like style desk is what I basically compare it to. So is this something that is also an issue as far as like, I know you're a business major, correct? And we see this issue amongst also in the nursing. Okay.
As a non-traditional student, I had a very difficult time getting my transcripts translated to college credit. That's kind of ridiculous. I shouldn't be taking a speech class. I have 23 years of speech. Shouldn't take a class about Microsoft Office. I have 23 years of experience using Microsoft Office. But I think for our non-traditional students, especially our veterans, they need to have more classes, being credited for the work that they've done.
I'm a biology major, and there are quite a few classes that are only offered like once every year. So like microbiology is only offered in the spring. And I think that kind of screws a lot of people over, like graduating and things like that. So I don't know if we need to add more professors to the biology department or what to be able to have classes offered every semester But I think that would really help.
Okay, thank you. Are there any concerns with those who are maybe dual majors and having to maybe go between two different kinds of what's it called? Two different
Cores.
Yeah, two different cores. Have you had any issues with maybe trouble with between two different advisors and them trying to talk to each other or communicate between different degrees that you guys are having? That makes sense. Do you want to explain yours?
So I'm a dual degree major, and so working with both of my colleges to get on the same page with one another has been a hassle. So I've gone to advising maybe 3 or 4 times each semester just to make sure I'm on track to graduate. So luckily now that is for semester, I know I'm graduating on time. Before it's been really hectic. I think there's some sort of platform, some sort of software where they can see what you're doing in that course and what you're doing in your current major.
Josh, did you want to interject there? Or?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Anything else? Do you want to add on?
No, but I can go change the slide to student affairs.
As a dual credit major myself, I got an email this morning that says I now have excessive hours, which is not my fault because going for 2 degrees and a minor, I shouldn't be punished for following the instructions, and I refuse to pay out-of-state tuition.
Okay, thank you. Any other issues? Because I know we do have a lot of issues in SGA that people bring up, so I want to make sure that we've covered everything before we move on to student affairs.
I don't think this is I really have no unearthly idea, but more readily available scholarships. I think that probably has a lot to do with more money with the school to be able to disperse out to students. But I know last semester, it comes out at a certain time, and then all you do is push apply for scholarship, and then if you were eligible or not, you would accept and go. And it's just kind of first come, first serve. Well, now they went on a basis where it was you have to search and search and search, and then you can apply, but you have to now write an essay, and then you have to write this and this. And no one or I feel the school doesn't really let us know any of these things. And people that don't have scholarships or have the loans and stuff like that, looking for stuff like that is very time consuming in ways. And so having some offered by the school and letting them know, I know through my nursing program, we're offered or we get updates or announcements and stuff when nursing scholarships are available, but through the school, I think would be a cool thing as well. And then I know Longview campus has brought it up, but the packages for nursing students would be legit because it's expensive.
We do have a new director for financial aid. His name's Scott Lipinski. He's been changing a lot of the way things, where it can get broadcasted so that we can help funnel people towards the scholarships that are available. Cool. And that's something he's presented before, not SGA, but a different committee that I'm on. And so hopefully that may be able to be solved a little bit better with incoming freshman classes, is that they will have financial aid counselors that can help them get maximum financial aid packages for them during their time here.
And hopefully for me.
So going off the nursing packages, does anybody have any issues over textbooks or access codes? Okay. Anything else? Okay. If that's it, then we can go to student affairs. We do end at 6:15, so if you guys don't have very many questions, we will end early, but take your time and answer and ask all your or let us know all your feedback. So anything student affairs related? So a topic that was brought up the other day are the shuttle buses. So the shuttle buses are approximately, if I'm not mistaken, you said 25,000 a semester, approximately a year. And not a lot of people are riding them. They're not using them. So I wanted to know maybe your feedback on what you guys think about the shuttle buses, because they've been going on for 3 years now, and all 3 years, the number of people riding them is very low.
Are you talking about the golf carts that drive around?
Yes.
So I don't know about other people, but I hardly ever see them going around. I mean, I probably would ride them if they drove by me, and there have been a couple of times where like I'll be walking and I'll see one like just drive by me, and like I would have ridden it if I could have like got their attention, or if they stopped to ask me if I wanted a ride.
Okay.
I feel like this isn't a big resource that is used, and if we take it out, we could spend that money elsewhere that could go to something else that,
So you personally like it's not necessary on our campus?
yes, it's not necessary. We have a small campus, and I think you can walk in and with the whole campus in 10 minutes, so.
Okay.
I feel like maybe it just not enough people know maybe where the common stops are on the routes for the buses. So maybe if we had a period where we like really publicized the times of the routes and where you should wait for it to pass you by, and then see if the amount of people that use them doesn't come up after that, then we could probably reevaluate it. I just feel like not enough people even know what they're for.
Okay.
With the way that how small campus is, I know this is like personally for me how I feel about the bus that's at Eagles Landing. I'm in building 4, and so I'm pretty much close enough to the front to walk without needing the bus almost ever. But if it does pass me, it's not worth my time to get on it, because I'm going to have to drive to the back of the building and then come back around so that the bus stays on its route. And I feel like the reason we don't see them go on routes across campuses is you're picking up a student, and it would be really inconvenient to have a student who needs to go to, let's say, the engineering building, and has to go on a route all the way across the UC through the gym back and forth just to stay on a timed route, because by the time you would get to your location, you could have walked there. It defeats the purpose of having the shuttle. And so I feel like that causes that infrequency of not knowing where the shuttle is because it's with the size of campus, it's disadvantageous to have it be on a route, in my opinion, at least.
Do you have any other thoughts over the shuttle bus?
Can we just go off campus with it?
Can the shuttle buses go off campus?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
they cannot.
I know I've used it around a half dozen times in the past few semesters. Mostly when I'm carrying large items, things that are just really inconvenient to get across campus and I can't drive because it's a bad parking time. But what if there was some way to call a shuttle or have that, sent on demand rather than, going all day?
Okay, with the shuttle process now, do you feel like it's beneficial, or do you feel like we don't need it anymore?
I think it's beneficial, but at the same time, it's also wasteful in having several people out there all the time, shuttling an empty shuttle around. Why can't we just call an office or go on an app or go on a site and say, I'm here and I need to get here, and how soon could a shuttle get out here, maybe coming from the police station or something? It's just otherwise really inconvenient to walk across campus carrying armloads of things. Why not just be able to call it instead of paying people to drive an empty little bus around?
Okay, thank you.
Maybe if we have like designated areas, like a sign saying like swoop shuttle meets here at like every 2 hours. So like just like the main buildings, instead of going to like the gym and like the random buildings that like you don't really have classes in every day, like the UC, and then picking up at like the alumni house for Eagles Landing, and then going to like RBN. Like those are the 3 main ones in the library. Like I just think that would be the best idea.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess deviating from the shuttle buses, anything else student affairs related, residential life, rec sports, food service, anything? We did have Sodexo come and speak to us a couple of weeks ago, because I know everyone seemed to have issues over that. They did say that they've made a lot of changes, so I'd like to maybe hear your opinion on whether or not you feel like Sodexo has made a change with their dining service up and the Met.
I went to the Met last time for the first time in a while, and I think it's improved a lot since I've been there. So, and they are making changes like Einstein's. It's open till 6 now, so I think they are trying to work with us.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
I've eaten at the Met. I've noticed that the dinner has improved a lot, but breakfast and lunch are still pretty bad overall. And I've talked to a lot of students who said about the same. Dinner's pretty good, but other than that.
I actually had quite a different experience than that. I've only been for breakfast, but I've been like a few times in the last couple of weeks, and the breakfast even seemed to have improved a lot for me, at least. And there was one day that it was preview day, and I saw Tammy kind of like running around all crazy, and I stopped her and I was like, like we've been here the last couple of weeks at breakfast, and it seemed like it's improved a lot, at least from my perspective. And I know you work hard, and so I think that's going to be a really important part of getting it improved overall. Is going to be just when we see improvements that we like, we need to be sure that we're telling them, because if they don't see the appreciation, then they're not going to have any incentive to keep doing what they're doing or make any improvements.
Thank you. Anything else food service related wise? Okay. Do you want to add anything to the Okay. Nothing else student affairs related? Guys, I know there are a lot of issues that you guys have.
I was just going to ask a question. This isn't about Sodexo, but it's about rec sports.
Mhm.
I work on staff there. Dr. Patterson's actually my boss's boss, so I'm going to try not to get in trouble here. But some of the things that we've been working on, at least in my department, are the green spaces. I'm taking care of the trails. I actually took Divya on a little tour of the new trail that got constructed right next to Eagles Landing. And we're looking to do like a grand opening kind of after facilities has got a good assessment of it. But one of the questions I just wanted to ask some students is if, do you guys know about the trail system, the disc golf course, the mountain bike trail? And do you guys know that Rec Sports has a website and that we're located at the HPC? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to take up much time, but
no, you're fine. Go for it.
I would love to hear complaints about how you don't know about us, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
So I actually run those trails out there in the woods about 3-4 times a week. And for me, sometimes in places it's hard to tell, where the trail is and then where the woods are. So, and there is a spot over by the pharmacy building area that is really nice because it's got wood chips out there. So it's easy to tell, and like you're not tripping over roots in the process because you're running on the chips. So, I'm sure it's expensive, and it would be to put chips on the whole trail, but there are spots that could certainly use it.
So I like to play disc golf out there a lot, and I get lost trying to find hole 10. So maybe like put up signs where the next hole is.
Like I've heard we had trails and stuff, but I've never seen any signage really or anything about it. I've been interested in walking it or running it or whatever, but I just didn't know where they were at. Is it can I ask questions, I guess? Is it just like on y'all's website, like a map of it or something, or? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Do you guys have any issues about maybe how events are being marketed around campus? Any ways we can improve on that?
Or just campus life in general?
So I know for athletic games and athletic events, there isn't a whole lot of turnout for home games and free games that students get to go to for free. And another part of that is I don't think the marketing and advertisement for like much of anything on campus is very good or anything.
So how would you guys like to see things marketed on campus?
I think it'd be smart, like at the beginning of the semester, maybe send out like a campus-wide email of like a calendar with a bunch of events that have already been planned. That way people at least have that resource to look into. They can, save it or whatever. And I think that'd be a good way to reach students because not everyone is on campus all the time and doesn't see signage that's posted on like bulletin boards and stuff.
Okay, thank you.
As kind of an extension of that, I think it'd be a good idea because we have I can't remember what it's called, but the Patriot
Nation?
Yeah, Patriot Nation app where organizations and sports and things can list their events, but people have to take the initiative to get on there and look at it and do all that. And realistically, a lot of people don't. And I think if there was like a weekly email that just had a list of the major events happening that week that was sent out every Monday or something, that wouldn't really be spamming people. I don't think people would get annoyed, but it would definitely increase the number of people that know about events. Because I think that's the largest problem is people don't know what's going on.
So can I get maybe a raise of hands to show if you guys did get an email, weekly updates on, events that are happening that week, who would actually click the email and actually look at it instead of deleting it? Okay. Just wondering.
So I was looking at ideas, what other campuses do for getting the word out about events. And a big one seemed to be chalking. Not like your average 5-year-old playing with chalk, but maybe like a nice filled in chalk drawing saying, basketball game, I don't know, Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Nice big, we have huge sidewalks. You could take up the whole sidewalk, get some, I don't know, there's tons of artists. Someone just freehand a sign on the ground. It's free, doesn't cost anything other than chalk, which is probably less than $5. So it's just an idea what a lot of campuses do.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like the best way for us to know about events and stuff is to utilize Blackboard. Like when you're first signing into Blackboard, like instead of having that picture there, it could be like a little text saying what's going on for that day or upcoming events because everyone uses Blackboard.
Okay, thank you.
What I've noticed is that people like to hang a lot of signs and think that does a job and puts like little poster boards and paper up on, and that doesn't do anything. So what I suggest is that we have like students who are willing to walk around campus with like poster boards and sign the date of the game and let people know. And people will be like, hey, what's the sign for? It's like, oh, there's a basketball game tonight. Come join us.
Okay.
So I know I've said this before, but I think one of the things that would really help spread the news about events on campus would be for organizations to support each other on social media. And I know that each social media is going to hit a certain target audience. So if we were to kind of spread like online posters and whatnot to other organizations, we would reach a different audience each time. I know we talked about OrgSync, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to be like available where we can like put things on, like the people that are in charge of the social medias, and like you can like pull posters and post it on yours? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but honestly, I'm not sure. Josh, do you know?
Okay. All right.
So I guess now that we're on OrgSync, what is everyone's opinions on like a one-stop shop app to where it has advising, it has, you can book rooms, you can look at events, everything in just one application? Because I know right now we have several applications for Rec Sports, for Patriot Nation, for events. I don't know what else we have, but I know we have like 5 more. So what are your thoughts on just one application with everything on it?
I read in a magazine, in some entrepreneurial magazine, that people really only use about 7 apps in their life, and on a regular basis. And I know Blackboard is one of those in my life. But then you start breaking down into Astra and Patriot Nation and everything else that goes on. We don't have time. But if there's easy avenues that are presented right there through the things that we need, and then going over to the things that we would like to see, I think it'd really help drive that engagement. Again, tying into Blackboard online or through the app, however that worked out, it'd be a great way to tie things together.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like an app would be like a pretty good idea. Like you could sign up for what notifications you want, like say you want to know when baseball games are, or what organization is having a meeting here, or where it's at, and like if it's all, what's the app it starts with a G, like the safety one.
Rave
Guardian.
It's Rave Guardian.
That one, like that could be in it. And
that works conjunction with Ian, which is the emergency app that is for the alert system. And so those would hopefully be consolidated into OrgSync as well. If this was something that we would look into, we could probably combine close to about 7 applications that we pay for separately right now into OrgSync. But that's just kind of what we've looked at right now.
Okay.
I would like to see more recycling bins around campus so we can throw away our stuff in the proper bin and recycle.
That's something that we've been working on recently. SGA had previously looked into creating a recycling and sustainability initiative, and then when the new president came in, the vice president of facilities kind of pitched his idea for one. And so it looks like we may not have to go charging a fee route or having SGA go into it. I don't know exactly what his plan is, to be 100% honest, but I know recycling is something that the vice president of facilities is working on for a campus-wide thing, and less of a just located centralized in the UC.
Is there anything you guys would like to see added onto campus?
Hi, so this is my first meeting with SGA. Anyways, I've noticed that there's nowhere on campus where people are allowed to use tobacco. Have we ever thought about having little areas around campus that maybe people are allowed to use those?
So this conversation had come up about 2 years ago, or a year, 2 years ago, is when it started. And SGA had looked into the potential possibilities of being either tobacco free or to be in like a cessation period where we had where you could still use tobacco, but we would be scaling back to designated areas. And SGA recommended the cessation period where we would have designated smoking areas, have a designated area for anyone who needed to use or wanted to use tobacco. And the faculty senate proposed completely campus-wide tobacco ban. A lot of this had to do with the Cancer Research Institute of Texas. They received all of the grant money from the state. And so to receive access to any of this grant money, they require that the institution be tobacco-free. And this was one of the factors, along with several others, that the faculty senate suggested to be completely tobacco-free. I believe all University of Texas systems now are tobacco-free. So this is not something that is unique to just us or something that we instituted recently. This is a common university or system trend that's sort of suggested by the chancellor. And so that is why it's not, there aren't any designated areas. It is because the policy is completely off campus.
Did you say though that it was voted on 2 years ago? Is that?
I believe the conversation started 2 years ago. It was proposed to the president last year, and Dr. Mabry signed it into be effect this year, starting in August.
I wasn't sure. This is only my second semester. So.
Okay.
I think that we need more filtered water stations. Like in the HPR, I use it every single day, and I know a lot of the people who I go to class with and that I work with here at UT Tyler also use it. Mainly in the library is, I think, a big need to have one, because since we don't have like a Starbucks or anything anymore, and we don't really want to go down all the way downstairs and buy a bottled water, then we could take our drinks and get filtered water instead of using the nasty fountain water.
Thank
things.
you.
Okay. Two quick things. One, kind of like green spaces. So what I'm thinking with that is like maybe, so a lot of people use that like side intramural place is kind of like for their dogs and stuff, but maybe having kind of like an established like dog park, because I know there's so many people here with dogs and there's no really place to kind of take your friends except for like far away. Or like just like little parks, if a lot of people have kids nowadays, and so if they're gonna, I don't know, anything like that to help with like green space, because it's going away very quickly. But I think a dog park would be really cool. And then me and some of my friends, we used to play volleyball here. Well, we no longer do. And I think it'd be really cool if we made a club team, because I know there's like multiple club teams like within our school, and there's more like a fishing club and a bass fishing club. Yeah. And so like, I don't know how it is with like other schools, or if we'd have to play D3 schools, or if we get to play like D1 schools. Hopefully not. But like, if we made like a club team, you know, I'd love to play again. So, and intramurals is fun, but yep.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, if you wouldn't, do you know, don't we have some sports that do have club teams here, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, and so just kind of following up on that, Rick McGill is the Associate Director of Rec Sports, but I'll get you in touch with him, but he can help you get your club established. But you'd also have to hang out with Josh and go through that process to get approved through him first as a student org, and then you can travel. But Rec Sports, I know, has a budget for club sports teams. So if you and your friends wanted to make a team, you could get allotted some cash to make jerseys, things like that. So if anybody else has an interest in club sports, come see me after.
Maybe just adding like a full sidewalk around the alumni house, because it's just kind of like annoying, like walking towards the nursing building just to get to the UC or even to the gym.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
So adding a sidewalk around the alumni house. So like, because it wants you to take the way towards the nursing building, and that's just kind of like pointless in a sense. Like if you're going towards like the UC or to any of the gyms in that area.
Okay, thank you.
I believe the intended plan is that once they finish the landscaping, you can see that they're doing that a little bit now as they're planning a lot of like the scenery that's going to go around the building. That once that's all completed, there will be walkways that allow you to go either around the building and still stay on that central area that used to be that sidewalk that led towards the UC. But I'm not 100% certain on that. So you would have, more than likely, you're going to have a walkway that's around that grassy area that goes around the building itself, and then leads back to normal. It's just not been constructed yet.
I know there used to be canoeing and boating and stuff in the lake, and now I'm hearing. I don't know what the situation is with the cleanliness of our lakes, how safe they are to say swim in or boat in. And whenever I talk to people about it, nobody else knows. Everybody has a suspicion, but I don't know where it comes from or how founded it is, or what restrictions or non-restrictions there are. So, if there was some, sort of more common knowledge on the health and safety and that situation, what's going on there. Because, if it's getting to be summer and someone wants to, go on the canoe and, swim around a little bit, they either, should be able to, or at least know that it's not a good idea.
Chris, would you be able to answer that?
Were you able to hear that, Adrian? Okay. I'm not sure who asked that, but I couldn't hear. So if you want to recap that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, you can canoe, kayak, stand-up paddleboard. There are signs out there, I think, that do say no swimming now, some large brown ones. But yeah, that's basically the gist of the pond. I don't think you're allowed to do anything on the upper pond or upper lake, but the Lake Harvey, yeah, you can do water recreation. No motorized vehicles, though.
Okay. Are there any needs that are not being addressed by the university that we have not addressed today? Wow. Okay. Anything else?
This is kind of side note, but did we ever, I know we talked about the light on Old Omen. Whatever happened with that? Like, I know something with this, like the city approving it? Do we get to that point?
Sean and I are still looking into that.
Still working on it. Okay.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more difficult to work through that situation because it's not something that is through faculty at the university. I've been able to figure out kind of how to go to who I need to go to as far as like university concerns, but going and taking the time to go off campus to go to the city for different measures is a little bit more difficult, and Sean and I are working on that.
I was just curious.
But I believe there was this is just extra information there. The guy who interviewed me originally at that crosswalk was back over there filming. So there may be new developments in that area that are outside of the scope of what Sean and I are working on.
Okay, anything else? Okay, well, just to give those who aren't in SGA a quick update. So SGA is in the process of trying to get a food pantry on campus, an interfaith room, and a daycare. If you guys have any other concerns or issues at all, now within the end of the school year, we do meet every Thursday at 5:15 p.m. in HPC 2255, so in the gym. You guys are more than welcome to come and address your issues and concerns at any time. But other than that, I think we got a lot of great feedback, so hopefully we can start, our Student Affairs Committee can start addressing some of these soon. But thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciated taking time out of your day to help SGA out in that concern. So thank you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.